everyone. My name is Dr. Lynn Carey, and I just wanted to talk about how important it is to do the inner work. Because so within, it's so without. And I know sometimes we can feel so discouraged about what's happening in the world today, especially in the political arena and the economic arena. But I believe the power lies within. And that's why it's so important, I feel like, for people to connect the dots. As a chiropractor, I would tell people that, your pain just didn't show up. Sometimes people think they just did something. But if you really examine what was going on in that person's life, in their mindset, they're really at a high stress level that they created as normal. And so your body will break down in order to get your attention so that you can start to make changes. And I realize this just doesn't happen in health, but it happens with every area of your life. It affects energy flow, which really affects your well-being and your health and your immune system. So be aware. How many times do you say, oh, I'm sick, instead of maybe I'm overstressed, my body is healing itself, it's expressing itself, it's symptomatic because it's purging and making itself new, versus saying, oh, I have this disease, or I am sick. Look at the perspective of the difference in the energy flow and the feeling of both of that, right? One is more empowering than the other. I mean, I can never just say I'm sick anymore because it doesn't resonate with me. I know when I get symptomatic or my body gets expressive, it's because I'm usually changing limited beliefs, or I let myself get run down mentally, physically. Something's going on and I have to honor that my body needs rest. The other thing is money flow. We're here to be abundant, rich, financially free beings. How many times a day do you say, I can't afford something? That's got to be the most crippling statement anyone can make. I learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad, you say, how can I afford that? And start opening yourself up to new possibilities to actually create cash flow in your life instead of debt. Building assets versus buying more debts, right? Trading time for money versus putting your time into something that will pay you, whether you work or not, right? Financial freedom. We're here, but it's all starts with your verbiage and your mindset and your perspective, changing that, opening up to new ideas, new opportunities, new ways of seeing things. Relationships, even family. A lot of us think we have to put up with a lot of crap because they're family, but I'm realizing I've been really looking at some inner childhood wounds lately, and I'm realizing a lot of the dynamics in families are power over versus really heart-to-heart connection of, who you are as a person. Are you being your real, true self? Or are you putting on a false self? I know for years I spent putting on a false self in order to relate to my family because they just didn't understand. They didn't hear. They weren't evolved enough to go where I was going. And it was really hurting me to stay in that dynamic. So it's really, relationships in your life. Are they adding inspiration? Do you feel good when you're around them? Or are they draining the life out of you? I don't care if they're family, friends, a spouse, anybody. Really start taking note on how do I want to feel and how do I feel when I'm around these people. It's important because if you don't take control of it, eventually it's going to come out as blocked energy somewhere in your body, in your life. And also, how many times do you feel joy? Every day. Are you following your purpose, your passion, your peace? Are you just busy, frantic, in stress mode, running around in the rat race? Just keeping yourself busy not to feel, right? Because you're afraid of what could come up if you stop to feel. But believe me, those feelings need to come up, even the dark ones, in order for the joyous ones to come through. It's important to be with those feelings, honor them, acknowledge that they're here to send you a message so that you can start to live in more joy, peace, happiness. So this is how we change within and without, and we start creating our own new world. And when there's a consciousness shift in humanity, it's because more people are living from their authentic selves, flowing their energy, following their joy. That's where the power is, and that's how we start to shift things on this planet. So I always appreciate you all watching. I hope you're having an amazing day and doing something to make yourself happy today.